Be cute. Oh, what an adorable little puggy Kaiba is. An adorable little puggy who's very tired of all the videos from today. I promise, Kaiba, this is the last one today. And now he's gotta do a bit of cleanup, and then the rest of the day we can spend playing and snuggling. Okay? Yeah, I know. Life is so hard. Poor little baby. Want me to make it a quicker one? Or you want me to let them see you for a little while longer? You are the star of the show. Yes, you are. You're the star of the show. The humans love you. Yes, they do. They always tell me how much they love Kaiba. Oh, wait. Yet you be. Yet you be. Well, we're technically recording this on a Tuesday, but you know how it is. Sometimes you gotta record on the days that you can, and you gotta post the videos on the days they're supposed to come out because that's what the people need. By the way, if you didn't see my recordings on Canada Day that got posted on Canada Day, you guys missed out. Dollarama Draws of Destiny was a pretty solid video. Pulled 4 legendaries out of 5 packs. Not too shabby. That's pretty cool cards. And there's a response video out on the recent ban of Corey Steelcutter versus bans of cards in from Universes Beyond versus in Universe. And if you didn't get a chance to see that, I would love to get you guys over there to see that one and give me your thoughts on that as well. And you missed a huge poll on that video if you didn't tune in. I won't spoil what it was, but I will say that the card I pulled is worth 30 bucks Canadian minimum. So pretty stoked about that. I know whenever I say values of cards, you need to keep in mind that I'm putting it in terms of Canadian dollars. So in terms of states, it's like a $20 card, which is still a decent pull. Don't get me wrong. Whenever a piece of cardboard is worth like 20 bucks, it's still worth noting. But today, we are here to do, even though I'm recording it early, we are here to do our Thursday video. And what do we do on Thursday? We do new sets versus old set. The lighting kind of went crappy on the Modern Horizons one there. Just move this over ever so slightly there. That's better. Try to get it out of the direct light off of the ceiling there. Okay, and then fix the camera ever so slightly, and there we go. Beautiful. All right, so round 5, sorry, went to Tarkir Dragonstorm. In a shocking and surprise twist, they gave it their all to get back into this series. And although it is currently a 3-2 lead for Modern Horizons, we will open this pack first and see if Tarkir can keep the comeback alive. If not, of course, the series will end with a 4-2 victory for Modern Horizons at that point, or if it happens to be a tie, Modern Horizons will still take the victory overall, 4-3. But there will be a final pack opening next week of these 2 sets, and then we will be moving on. Because Edges of Eternity is not coming out as expected, and I actually didn't plan quite as well as I thought I did originally, I'm not going to be able to do Edges of Eternity versus it was going to be Brothers War as the next series, because I won't be able to start it right away. So what I plan to do is go out and get the Edges of Eternity's packs as soon as they come out, and I will store those, and that series will be the one after the next series. And the next series is going to be Return to Foundations versus something that I truly love and I think you guys will really enjoy, but I don't want to spoil it just yet. However, if you've ever seen any of the polls on the channel, you will know what card set I am referring to because I believe I put it up for a vote before as one of the choices. Um, it is arguably one of my absolute favorite sets for Magic, and that old set, although not super old, is definitely older than Foundations, and I figured it would make for a fun competition. So, that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, but in the meantime, we've got to finish this one off first, and we can't count the dragons out yet because of their awesome stay power. I still haven't pulled an Elspeth. I still haven't pulled an Ugin. Either of those would be an automatic win, pretty much guaranteed at this point in this series, and would put it to a final round. But beyond that, I think I've pulled pretty much everything that you want to pull out of this set. I pulled the Mox. I pulled the free win dragon enchantment spell. I've pulled a bunch of really good dragons and some solid legendaries. I pulled the wicked cool Mist Valley, I think that's what it's called, land card that everybody was chasing too. So I think I've got most of the stuff that is worth getting out of this set, at least one copy of. Now, if I pull some more copies, who's going to be upset about that? Me? No. Why would I be upset about that? That just means more commander decks I can build into. I will say I'm not looking for any more dragon stuff though, because I'm not building any dragon decks for a while. I'm happy with my 5-color dragon deck, and I'm actually really happy with that precon. I played it the other day, the dragon starter deck that I bought. I played it as a starter deck in a pod against some actual like homebrewers, and I was doing reasonably well until I got board wiped. I didn't actually recover from the board wipe and didn't win that game, but I mean, up until then, like I ramped pretty hard and got my commander out on turn 4, I think, instead of turn 6 like it's supposed to. So like I did reasonably well with that deck, and so, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the dragon decks I currently have. I want to keep playing those ones is the point of this conversation. So, yeah. We did get a spirit token on the back. And it appears we did not get an art card this time, which is a little disappointing. I like the art cards. We have a spider. A 4/4 for 2 and a green with Defender, and pay 2 and a green, and this thing can attack as though it doesn't have Defender. If it had reach, I would put it to the top, but I'm going to mid it because it does not, so it can't block flying creatures. Tamir Devotee is nice as long as you're playing an actual Tamir deck. Otherwise, or if you're paying like 4 colors or 5 colors, this is great. Otherwise, not super good for Commander. I'll still put you mid. Just because you do have a decent power and toughness. Erishin Sunshield. 3 and a white for a 3/4. When this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Pay white to tap target creature by tapping this. And it's a 3/4? That's not bad. I will put you up. You are the first one to hit the top for this pack. Molten Exhale. You can cast this spell as though it had flash if you can behold a dragon, and it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. I mean, I'm not going to complain for a sorcery that does one more, that only costs 1 and a red to deal 4 damage. But like I say, I'm not building any more dragon decks, so that's not super useful because you can't do the instant speed version. Worthy cost is an additional cost. You have to sacrifice a creature, and then you exile target creature or planeswalker. For 1, pretty good. I'll put you on top. Sagu Pummeler. 3 and a green for 4/4. Has reach and renew. Pay 4 and a green, exile it. You get to put 2+1/+1 counters and a reach counter on target creature. That is insanely good. I will definitely put you up top. Unlike what we just pulled, which is probably going mid. Gurnag Nightwatch. 2 And you can either play black, green, and blue, or you can pay 2 instead of any one of those colors. When this creature enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You can put one into your... No, one at the back on top of your library and the rest... This sucks. That's going to the bottom for sure. You don't even get to put the card in your hand? Hell no. Storm Beacon Blade. 1 and a white for equipment that has... Equipped creature gets +3/+0. Whenever it attacks, you draw a card if you control 3 or more attacking creatures. Equip 2, not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. I wish it had improved with that some. Rainveil Rejuvenator. Elephant Druid automatically gets some points for being an elephant. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Tap, add an amount of green equal to this creature's power, which is currently 2, but if you boost it, it's definitely worth more, so you can go to the top. You are definitely a solid pull. Venerated Stormsinger, mobilize 1, 3/3 for 3 and a black. Whenever it or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. Ooh, shoot! That might have to go in my vampire deck and replace one of the ones that I recently just put in. Because that is insanely good. Either that or that's going in my mono black. Actually, you know what? That might go in the mono black deck I want to build in the near future. Either way, top pull for sure. Frontier Bivouac, there's our land for the pack. Gives us red, green, or blue, sorry. Enters tapped. I do love the artwork on it though, so that is a plus. But lands don't get counted, so you just get over here. Ooh, pulled a legendary, and one I didn't have yet. And are you riding a wolf? The Twice Whisperer heals, the Dragonclaw protects. Together we will rebuild Tamir. Eshki Dragonclaw, human warrior. For 1 in Tamir, you get a 4/4 with Vigilance, Trample, Ward 1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell this turn, draw a card and put 2 You are definitely the hit of this pack for sure, probably. And I am pretty stoked to have pulled this actually because I have a legendary deck I have a commander deck I really want to build. It is a Lord of the Rings based deck to a certain extent because the commanders I wanted to actually build it around are a version of Gimli and a version of Legolas that really should have been given partner. It is a massive flavor fail that they weren't given partner on this. They're designed to be they're designed to be representatives of those characters at the Battle of Helm's Deep when they're doing like the count of how many creatures they've killed, and it's like they're getting up into like the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. One of them, the Legolas is green and blue, and the Gimli is mono red. And the fact that they weren't given partner means you can't really play them together unless you get a team mirror deck. And this commander might actually be the one I would put them into because this is really cool. So I am really stoked about that pull. That might be the pull that wins the day. We also have a Breaching Dragonstorm. 4 and a red for whenever this enters, exile cards from the top of your library to exile a non-land card. You can cast it without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 8 or less. If you don't put it into your hand, and when a dragon enters, you get to return this to your hand. Awesome pull, for sure. I don't think the one I have in my deck is a hollow. I think the one I have in my deck might be a dragon art border one, though. So I'm not sure which one I actually want to keep in my dragon deck. I'm not planning to change the starter deck at this time, but if I do, this would definitely be the first thing I would put into that. Still really happy with this. And we got ourselves Dismal Backwater, which has a beautiful artwork. I'm not going to say it doesn't. Definitely some beautiful artwork on that one, at least. Pretty good effort from Dragonstorm. Pretty good effort. I'm going to need to take a sip of Coke because I don't think I can handle opening the second pack without it. That Ashki is... Man, that is my... I am really, really stoked about that hit. Damn, the camera got jostled a bit. Somehow, someway. There we go. Yeah, no. That Eshki I think might be my favorite pull of today, including what I pulled from the earlier video that I made, which is crazy. Because that Eshki is probably only worth like 50 cents or a dollar, if I'm lucky. But I am really happy that I'll be able to build that elf and dwarf deck. Granted, I wish the commander could have been an elf or a dwarf, but this is actually a really solid one to build around. Question is, can Modern Horizons do what it does best and kick some ass? Or will this thing be going to a final round? In which case, this will be the first time in series history that any set has made a comeback from a 3-1 deficit. I'm going to knock on some wood because I don't want to jinx the Dragonstorm, but at the same time, I'm hoping we pull something cool out of this pack too. Now, if I remember correctly, I think I have to do a pack trick on this. There's the token, there's the art card, and then I think it's one, two, three, four, maybe five that go to the back. And I think the best two cards are the ones that I need to put behind those three, so it goes like that. Alright, here's hoping we did this right, because I don't want spoilers. Ooh, a Golem Hollow token. That is cool. That is really cool. Great start. Art card? Always nice to see. Disappointed that Tarkir didn't have one, but Tarkir did give me a cool legendary, so I can't complain too much. Some sort of headless knight on what appears to be like a, I don't know, some sort of weird bug thing? It's creepy as heck. Just try and shift everything over ever so slightly before we get too far into this. Because it seems like my camera's a little bit off for some reason that I can't figure out why. There, let's do that. And then we'll just shift this ever so slightly over to try and get the light off. Well, the token and the art card are just going to have some weird lighting on them, unfortunately. I can move everything over a little bit on the board, but ignore my ramblings. Alright, what we got? We got a Grave Shifter. 3 and a black for a 2-2 changeling. And when it enters the battlefield, you can return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Always a nice pull to see. Ingenious Elemental. 4 and 2 red for 4/3. It costs 2 less to cast if there's a land in your graveyard, though. And it enters the battlefield. You may have it deal 2 damage to target creature. Not really worth all that cost and nonsense, so I'm going to put you to the bottom, to be honest. Amphorus Axe. 2 for an equipment that gives +3/+0 and every type to the creature. That's interesting. Equip 3. I'll admit that. That seems like it could be fun. Savage Swipe. Sorcery. Creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn if its power is 2. Then it fights target creature you don't control. I don't think I will play that much because of the restriction about the power 2. Basically, whatever I'm going to have to pick to fight, I want to make sure that I can kill and keep my creature alive. If my creature's already got power 2, even if it has amazing toughness, it's not going to deal that much damage to whatever I'm picking to fight. So, I mean, I'm going to be picking like a token or something more likely than not. So, I'm going to mid you because you still got potential, but yeah. Nature's Chant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment for 1 in a green or white. That's a solid instant. Rhyme Tender. Snow creature, human druid, 1 in a green for a 2/2. Tap to untap another target snow permanent. Decent. In the right deck. On Earth, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. At 1 cost? That's insanely good. Slivers go to hell. For those of you who don't know, I just really don't like how synergistic slivers are. Slivers are the tribe that gets way too much bonuses for being slivers. They're like they're like the kid who gets everything in school. Like, you know how some kids